Today on Top Gear Rearview. Remember that Nickelodeon show Kablam? I remember that Nickelodeon show Kablam. A 1975 Corolla and a 1996 Corolla are like Prometheus and Bob.
Hello and welcome to Top Gear Rearview. I'm Jeff, that's Brady. Tonight we are looking back at Series 4, Episode 6.
This episode aired on the 13th of June in 2004, and the star in a reasonably priced car was the venerable Sir Terry Wogan.
And tonight we are looking primarily at cars that are not offered in the UK. So we start things out with the Nissan Cube, move into the Jaguar XKS, which was definitely offered in the UK, the Cadillac CTS, and another kind of Series 1-ish challenge of if a car can run on poop, yes it can. And rounding things out, the Renault Clio RenaultSport Renault.
2.
182 RS.
Cup. All right. Let us talk about the Cube, Jeff.
Are you scared of squares, Brady?
Mildly. They make me uneasy. Like, just get it together and round your edges a little bit, man.
Getting a little sharp over there, guy.
All right, so I forgot to write this down, but have you seen the first generation Cube?
I thought this was the first generation Cube.
So this is the first one labeled as a Cube, but the same car started off as called the Nissan Z10. Shared as the Micra. It is considerably less Cube-like, which is probably why they didn't call it a Cube.
Oh yeah, that's not a Cube. That's
Nope.
just like that's kind of rad.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, we're going to get into the Japanese cars here pretty soon. But yeah, the Cube is, I guess, it's not really a hatchback. It's more like is it a people carrier? A small people carrier?
Yeah.
A mini? It says here, mini MPV.
MPV.
So a multi-person vehicle. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about it. Jeremy generally pans it a little bit. It is the best-selling car in Japan at the time, which was, I guess, summer 2004.
You can get it in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think they said that you get it in 4-wheel drive by putting an electric motor on the back axle.
Or you can have one with an electric motor in the back to make it 4-wheel drive. Why? What are you going to do with that?
That's so weird and totally all right.
Yeah, so I guess you just have a different... They're totally disconnected. That'd be pretty crazy. Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah. It is a thoroughly uninteresting car, I think. The only thing it has going for it is that it looks different.
I love the face of the, I guess, second generation Cube. I think it's just like, Arr.
Yeah.
It's like a little Hulk.
Yeah, it's got a little
Hulk face.
It's well known for having an asymmetrical back end pillar design.
Yeah.
Where one pillar is
retains,
visible and one pillar is invisible.
And it takes that all the way to present. And the ones available in the US definitely still have that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I realized because there are later episodes, I think like with the current Land Rover, or Range Rover, I should say, Jeremy is not a fan of asymmetrical rear ends, and it definitely shows here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a design thing that you like or don't like. I don't particularly mind it at all. I think it might be distracting driving in it for like a day, and then you just figure it out.
Get used to it.
Yeah. My dad had an old Trooper, a Suzuki Trooper, that had split side opening rear doors, but it wasn't split in the middle. It was off to one side because the other door had the spare tire on it.
Okay.
And the spare tire was attached to the door. You didn't swing it out separately. So it was a small door and a big door. It was obviously designed in Japan because it was very much the wrong way. Like it was showing you had more visibility to the slow lane than to the passing lane if you wanted to pull out and around somebody, which is definitely where you want it. You want it when you're getting ready to speed up, not when you're trying to slow down.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mind it. You just get used to it, you know? You're just like, okay, that's where the pillar is. There's times where pillar design is just too much, like the FJ Cruiser, which I wanted to love. I went to a dealership wanting to buy one. Took it for a
should have, man. You would have kept your money.
I would have. They're very expensive now. I took it for a test drive and drove back and said, oh, I'm never buying that because you can't see a damn thing out of anywhere. But I did not know that it was going to be the aftermarket behemoth that it is.
Yeah, something like 90% of original MSRP retained. Crazy.
Yeah, they're getting pretty close to, especially out here in like Colorado, maybe on the East Coast, they're a little lower.
Yeah,
they're over MSRP.
Yeah.
So
back to this Cube. Yes,
back to the Cube.
It has lots of beeps.
It has two. The first one and the second one are just key and ignition beep. And the third one is reverse beep, which apparently, okay, fine. It's got a new beep.
All right.
But it's not. Yes. Okay, Jeremy. You seem excited.
You're obviously bored with this car.
Yeah.
Move on.
1.4 liter, 0 to 60 in 13 seconds, which is funny.
Yeah.
103 miles an hour, maybe. You have to steady tailwind.
Well, yeah, with the tailwinds. No cross breezes or you'll just tumble away. Dead. Family dead.
So Jeff, let's talk about the best-selling cars in Japan now.
Okay.
First question, do you have any idea what the best-selling car in Japan is?
Is it a brand we get here?
Yes.
Honda Jazz.
No. Close. Actually, they call it a Fit in Japan.
Liar.
I swear to God, it was a Honda Fit on the list.
Nissan Micra.
No, it is a Nissan. So the top 10 list has 3 manufacturers. Nissan, Toyota, Nissan, Toyota, Honda, Toyota. So
wow,
it's pretty populated. It's interesting. The list was kind of split into two. This was the just car, regular car. So like the Prius is on there and the Fit is on there. That size car, still small. It is Japan, but just regular car. There's also a secondary category called the K car. Kei?
Yeah. It's K. It's little tiny baby cars.
Yes, exactly. Those cars look nothing like anything we get here in the States, are very small. They are dimensionally restricted by law to certain heights and widths and stuff. Yeah. So I want to ask you, Jeff, did the number one regular car or the number one K car sell the most?
K car.
K? Do you have any idea how much more it sold by?
3 times.
Oh no, not
that much.
It was about
30%.
It was about 50%. They sold 45,000 Nissan Notes in, I guess this is Q1 only. 45,000 in Nissan Notes in Q1 and 68,000 Honda N boxes in Q1.
That's such a good name.
It's extremely fun going down the K car route. I kept wanting to call it the Kiai. The Kiai!
Oh, it's K. It's K.
Going down the rabbit hole of looking at those cars. Mm-hmm.
Now, is this the same as the one we get here, the Versa Note? Because that's bigger than a K car.
It's not a K car. The Nissan Note is not a K car.
Oh,
the Honda N box is a K car,
and that makes more sense. Okay, because the Note / Versa Note is very similar in size to my Fit.
Yes. And
Honda N box.
All of the
oh my God.
All of the cars on this list were essentially Prius / Fit / Versa sized.
I love the N box so much.
The list of K cars is pretty fantastic. The only one I wrote down was the N box for the amount that they sold, the 50% more. But they all look awesome. They all look like the AutoZam is a K car. All of these fun, oddly sized Japanese cars.
AutoZam, the AZ1 is amazing.
Yeah. So, and that's those are all K cars. Jeff, you sent me a link the other day to a car that had a motorbike in the bike. Was that a K car?
Yeah, the Honda City. That was a City R, if I remember right. I think that might actually be too big, but it's borderline.
So there wasn't much to talk about the Cube. It's interesting diving down what other countries' best-selling car is. Quick, hot shot, best-selling car in the UK this year.
Vauxhall Astra.
That's a pretty good bet. Number 1, Ford Fiesta. Number 2, Volkswagen Golf. Number 3, the Nissan Qashqai.
Okay.
With 2 Qs.
I think there's no U's, only two Qs.
There is no U's.
Oh, Qashqai.
It's like an SUV.
Sweet.
Looks like the Murano or something.
Is it like 3/5 scale?
3/5 was an odd choice.
I don't know.
Mini hatchback, Mercedes A-Class, Mercedes C-Class, Kia Sportage.
Sportage is funny. It's like just intentionally instead of sportage, then you can call the Arnage the Arnage.
The Arnage. Terry Wogan drives a Bentley Arnage.
It's so much less impressive.
It's interesting to me looking at this. I guess it's the Versano, but different countries calling the same car different things.
Yeah.
Why is the Ford Escape not called the Ford Escape in the UK? And then why have they chosen Kuga as the proper name? It's very interesting to figure out or try to think about why a certain thing. Why wouldn't they call it the Nissan Versa in Japan?
Focus groups. It's all focus groups, but I have no idea what the logic is behind that.
And
choice.
so Nissan chose the Qashqai and Ford chose the Kuga?
Yeah, because British people are crazy.
Let's move on.
All right. So now a classic Jaguar, which is weird. XJS.
They classic-ish. We'll call it classic-ish, Jeff.
Yeah, classic in the meaning of old, not necessarily like a want one.
I was amazed at the duration they produced this car from.
Yeah,
with zero body style changes. They produced this car from 1975 to 1996. You pick any other 2 cars in that range, and they are completely different cars. A 1975 Corolla and a 1996 Corolla are like Prometheus and Bob.
I feel like we had another one not too long ago that had just a monster range like that. It might have been an exotic, but maybe an Aston or something.
Yeah, it could have been
so British. Maybe the British are just lazy with their designs.
I suppose, I don't know.
But anyway, I still don't like it. The point that James was making is that it was not particularly well loved when it came out, and took some time to grow on people, and now is kind of cool.
Well, they produced it. Yeah, they produced it for 21 years, and they only sold 115,000, which is not a lot. So it was not very well accepted by the consumer. Nope. They had, it was a tough act to follow. This was a successor somehow to the E-Type. So you take maybe one of the most beloved British cars of all time, besides maybe the Mini.
Yeah.
The Jaguar E-Type, and you replace it with this, which no matter what you replace it with, it's not going to work. You're never going to win. That fight's always going to be a losing fight.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they asked so much the engineer that he just drank himself into a stupor and threw this at his boss and quit. And they were like, well, we got to build something.
You drive it. The boss goes, hey, so calm down now. I'm not going to drive this. They call it a luxury Grand Tour, which is not what the E-Type was. So it's they call it the successor to the E-Type, but the E-Type was almost a race car. It was a sports car, I thought.
I could see it as maybe a Grand Tour, but it's definitely a sports car.
So it's got a 5.3 liter V12. So anyway, previously I was saying that they just made this poorly. They chose made poor design and maybe material sourcing decisions. Mm-hmm. Bad rubber, bad electronics, all that sort of stuff. So what he's driving is not an original Jaguar.
No, it is a restoration of sorts. I was thinking maybe a resto mod. It didn't seem like it was really modified. It was just kind of like we took the garbage parts and made them better.
Yeah, modified in discrete ways. Is we kept the body, we kept everything that you want to see looking the same, or everything that you can see looking the same. But we made the suspension reasonable, we made the engine reasonable, we made the brakes reasonable, and brought it up to what this car should have been to be the successor to the E-Type.
Yeah,
everything kind of works.
It's a functional car.
Yeah, which
is as little as you can ask
before.
So So I looked into this was done by a company called Knowles Wilkins, and I
Yes.
looked into them, and I was surprised they definitely still exist. And I was really hoping that it was going to be something like Singer, where they like turn these things into awesome like one-off hot rods and stuff. Nope, they just do like a basic restoration, and it is relatively affordable.
Yeah, this one was only 35,000 pounds.
And looking at their list of inventory right now, it's on the high side.
Really?
They had some in like the 20s, maybe in the teens.
Do they still just do the Jags?
Yeah, they do the XJS and the XJ.
They put a lot of work into it. Seemingly,
They do.
if James can be trusted for not that much money, because usually later on you get like the E-type. I guess that would be a resto mod, the Eagle, whatever it was later on, much later on.
Yeah,
that was like 750,000 pounds.
So much money. Yeah,
And this is
astonishing how cheap these are.
Yeah. Hey, Knowles Wilkins. Yeah. Maybe their price, it's a supply and demand sort of thing. They have to price it this low.
It could be. I mean, I'm looking at one that's pretty similar to the one he drove. This is newer. This is a 93.
Yeah.
It's got the 5.3 liter V12.
Yeah.
It's under 78,000 miles, and it's sold for 24,000 pounds.
Wow. I mean, it's reasonable. If this is the car you want, if they do a good job, it's a pretty cherry-looking car. Yeah. It looks to me, like looking at these cars, it's not my cup of tea. But you look at it and you go, okay, that's an old car that looks good. There's just something about it, like it looks in good condition. There's something about an old car in good condition that makes you go, wow, that looks good. It's not a good-looking car, but it looks in good condition, and it's surprising. You're taken aback. Like, as far as I know, because they didn't change the damn styling for 20 years, looking at this 93, it's a 75. Wow, that looks pretty good for a 75 because it looks like it was made in 75. It's interesting. Yeah. Again, not my cup of tea, but they do a good job. It's just, you know what? Good job.
Yeah. You know who else tends to like the XJS?
Who?
One Patrick Stewart. And if you can't trust Jean-Luc Picard, who can you trust?
I'm no longer engaged. That's a good point. He loves the XJS.
He had his.
As far as I know, Patrick Stewart likes doinking in the back of XJSs, according to his interview.
Patrick Stewart's a boss, so you know.
Yes, he is. What? Okay, I'm going to throw one at you, Jeff. I haven't thought about it at all, so I'm going to let you talk first and let me think. Pick a car from 1975. What would you like to see a company with the skills and the availability do? Like Knowles Wilkins do to a car from 1975 from America.
75.
Yeah, I'm throwing. Don't just choose a Porsche at you.
I know. I love Porsche. It's so easy. It's like the Miata. It's always the answer, except there's no such thing as a 1975 Miata. God, the 70s, the 75 cars start to get pretty rough. It's getting into boat phase.
Pretty big. They're pretty big.
I'd probably go Trans Am.
Yeah? 75 Trans Am?
That seems like some fun. I don't like that's not my favorite. The C3 is not my favorite style of that.
I have to say, Jeff, I gave it some crap for looking like an old car, but compared to what America was putting out in the mid 70s, that thing looks pretty modern.
There were some doozies here.
Oh, there's a Jensen Interceptor.
That's not American at all.
No, but it looks way better than anything else I've seen.
Jensen Interceptors are rad.
Yeah. I feel like I might have them do a Cadillac Eldorado so I can quickly become the 7th largest Navy in the world.
I'm sick of my Trans Am.
1975 Ford Bronco. I don't know how you didn't think of this, Jeff.
That's a truck. It's not a car.
Oh, doesn't matter.
I agree. In that case, winner, chicken dinner.
Trans Am would be pretty bitchin' though, bro.
I mean, we would be a good pair in a Trans Am and a Bronco.
We'd be going places, dude. What's next? Terry Wogan.
Terry Wogan, most influential man in music.
Okay.
I had to Google him, and then I saw like his actual history, and it was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, it does seem like the highest listenership for a long time.
So, I mean, right now the UK has like 60-something million people, maybe 64 million people. At one point, 8 million people listened to his show every morning.
More than 10% of your country.
The entire country.
Yeah.
That's like American Idol voting night big.
Yeah. So that's every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day. So, yeah, that's, I would not necessarily disagree. That was a serious, title to give to him, and I think it is potentially accurate.
It's interesting. He's actually Irish, and I didn't know that. He was this bastion of UK radio. I had heard of him when I was over there. I didn't listen to Radio 2 in the mornings. I didn't listen to any radio in the mornings when I was driving. I listened to like CDs and stuff. But I heard of him. Like he's in popular culture as just this icon. He'd be like, I don't know, maybe like the Dick Clark of the UK, where he's just kind of around and involved in music. But everyone knows this person. It's like Johnny Carson. Let's go with Johnny Carson.
Okay.
He's very popular, extremely beloved everywhere, on every day. It's like the Johnny Carson, but on radio.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jeff mentioned this a couple episodes ago. No longer with us. There's been a rash of guests that have died between the Top Gear episode and today. So Terry passed away in 2016, about 2.25 years ago. So rest in peace, Terry. Mm-hmm. He was knighted.
Yeah, he lived a good life. I didn't have a ton from this. It seemed like pro M4 bus lane.
Yeah, it was an interesting interview between Jeremy and him. There was one little exchange that I think I might play here. They're talking about driving around, and Terry Wogan asks Jeremy,
"Do you swerve to avoid rabbits?"
Never. Do you?
No.
Foxes?
No.
No?
Children?
I do children, yeah. I have swerved to avoid children before.
You see, you're too soft for this game.
It seemed, I feel like these guys might have known each other from before.
I almost, they seemed like old friends.
Because they were kind of contentious. It was a bit of jarring and jabbing going back and forth the way old friends do. I don't know.
I like Society for the Prevention of Birds.
Yes. Yes. But it was the interview was a bit all over the place. It was more constructive than the last episode with the morning show hosts, but still a little all over the place.
Yep. We learned that Mr. Wogan drives a Bentley Arnage Red R. And that he probably does so slowly because his lap time was not great. Not the slowest, but not great.
Not the slowest, but barely.
Just by a hair.
Just barely faster than Whiteley.
2:04.
2:04 is
third in the 2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Brutal.
Yes. Brutal. So a couple episodes have been pretty brutal, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue to move along, Jeff.
Okay.
Let's talk about a Cadillac.
But not in the UK. You can get it anywhere in Europe but the UK, so Hammond goes over to Holland.
Yes, and drives.
See some weird windmills. 2-blade windmills, which I was focusing on because the CTS is like background at this point. I've seen so many of them in my life.
Yeah, it is a pretty mundane vehicle.
It is. I agree. It's, especially at the time, not bad looking. I remember like when this came out, it was in The Matrix. It was in, there's another movie he mentioned and I'm forgetting it, but not at all bad looking. And he also did mention the V, which is awesome and continues to be awesome to this day.
CTS V, yes, very much so.
Oh, yes. But yeah, otherwise, meh.
Luckily for the world, this replaced the Catera. Which
Luckily
was
for every human alive.
An egregious car and an affront to all human civilization. So this is a step up. We're definitely going to go with a step up from there.
God, I hate the Catera.
It was interesting. Richard explicitly pointed out that the parking brake release lever and the hood release lever were right next to each other, which is interesting because it was definitely an automatic, this car, right?
Yeah.
That is a difference there because almost every car in the UK is a manual, so you use the parking brake a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That is obviously designed by an American who never uses the parking brake.
Yeah.
A lot of people, an extremely vast majority of people do not use the parking brake in the United States. Why would I use why? Obviously, you use obvious. I don't use it on my automatic cars.
I use it on my bus, and I use it on my van.
I use it on the manuals.
Yeah.
Especially the RAV, because it's got a small engine. I bet it'd turn over if you push it.
Yeah, I guess I don't really use it on the other two.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's what park's for, Jeff. You have park mode. I don't need double park.
Park harder.
Parker.
Park more Parker. 3.2 liter V6, 220 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 7.6 seconds, and a $25,000 price with a garbage interior.
25,000 pound price.
25,000 pound price, which would be like in the 50s.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Cadillac. It's a Cadillac.
It's
pretty expensive. Oh, you got me. That was good. All right, so they move from this not available in the UK car to a budget wall type of thing.
You mean
it's not
two
the cool
trash
wall?
cans with poster board?
Two trash cans with poster board that they obviously didn't write on the back of the poster board. That was obviously also sticking up above the trash can because Jeremy had to keep looking at the front to figure out which bin was which. You could have just written, "This is the no" and "This is the yes" on the back, but they didn't have that kind of budget, Jeff.
Nope.
So
this was
got fired.
Okay or no way in terms of if they wanted it or not.
Yeah, so they're going through a list of cars that they might want to import into the United from wherever into the UK. Mm-hmm. So let's go through the list.
Mostly from
Jeff.
America. It was 5 of 7 from America.
All right,
let's go through these cars, eh?
First, Pontiac Solstice.
Now, this is definitely related to at least the Opel GT. I thought it was more similar to that one they really liked, the 220 or whatever it was. It was a Vauxhall.
The Vauxhall VS 220?
It's not.
No.
But, yeah, their point was that its specific horsepower was not impressive, which...
Yeah, he was essentially called it bad. They said no way to it because out of a 2.4 liter, they only got 170 horsepower.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's... I mean, I don't know. Unforce inducted? Is that bad?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. We might need to look into that a little bit. I think that's middle of the road.
I think
it might be low, but not terrible.
Yeah.
But he says that a lot. The Americans have only managed to get X amount of horsepower out of a certain size engine. And certainly when you get up into the bigger end, it's crazy the amount of liters that you put in to get like 20 or 30 more horsepower. It's like, this is a 7-liter V8 and it gets 296 horsepower. It's like, okay, that's bad.
Some of the early 12s, which mostly came out of Germany, are not good. But
yeah, exactly.
Real quick, have you ever seen a Solstice coupe?
I've never seen a coupe. I've actually ridden a Solstice.
Oh, the coupes are cool. They are fairly rare. I have seen a couple. They're around. They are so rare that there is one in a Santiago teal metallic. They only ever made one of them.
Oh, wow.
It's cool. But yeah, total production on that thing was only 1266.
Yeah, my uncle had one.
Seemed like a fine car. I don't know whether they hate it. Seems like it'd be right up their alley. But anyway, moving on, I guess.
Next,
Pontiac Aztec.
Should have been imported to this planet. I agree with him completely on that one.
No, what are you going to hide your methane?
Anything. Garbage bags, pizza box. Both of those look better than the Aztec.
One time I went to a junkyard and there were 3 Aztecs in a row. It was amazing.
Would you have imported the Solstice to the UK?
Probably.
Yeah, that seems fine. I don't know if I agree with his argument. Pontiac Aztec? No.
I agree with it, no way.
Next, Hummer H2. Oddly enough, one of the few that they wanted to bring in because Clarkson had a review saying he liked it. Do not import that to the UK.
Completely agree. That thing wouldn't fit with anything in there.
Terrible idea. Ford Mustang. This is the last gen redesign. I guess the early 2000s Ford Mustang.
The first one that was like the retro styling.
Yeah, they went to the retro style. Interestingly enough, a guy in the crowd said, "I liked the last one." You liked the last Mustang?
The SN95 is universally hated.
It's just the worst. Yeah. So
I had an interesting thing real quick.
Yes.
Oh wait, that's not quite as long as I thought. The generation before that, the 3rd gen, the Fox body had a 14-year run. So that was the same kind of thing we were talking about with the XJS, really long run of a kind of mediocre car.
But they did make styling changes. They had rounded in the early 90s, and then at the later 90s, it was much more edgier and square. There was a facelift for sure.
That's the
I would agree, it's the same car.
SN95. That's the SN95. That one was around for 10 years. The one prior to that, the Fox body, which also did have styling changes, but still didn't have the tenure of the XJS. So this would have been, the 5th generation, which is the first of the retro styling. And I remember when this thing came out. Everybody loved this one.
Yeah. It probably, I mean, I don't know if it fits well for the UK.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't think
it's still live rear axle. And,
yeah, he definitely shot down because of live rear axle, that's for sure.
And it did still have, I think, the 4.6.
Yes, the modular. Woo. Next is the Chevy SSR in purple. Don't import that one either. That's a bad car.
That is the stupidest car I've ever heard of.
It's funny. Jeremy Hammond's arguing for it. He thinks it's cool. He's like, that's cool. And Jeremy goes, you're going to drive around Gloucester with a purple pickup truck. And I could just hear Senior Chang in the background going, ha! Gay! But yeah, don't import that anywhere. Finally done with America.
Yeah, we're into the Lancia Thesis, which it kind of looks awesome.
No, it doesn't kind of look awesome.
It totally looks awesome, I know.
Don't worry, I know about it. No, it looks
weird. It looks like a Morgan. That's what it is.
It's kind of cross-eyed. It's got backwards. It's got the back end doesn't look too bad. It looks a lot more modern. Maybe that is a modern version of it. I'm not sure. But the front end looks like it's got like a tumoury type of nose. It doesn't look very good. Cross-eyed, way too small of headlights. For how good some Lancias look, this looks awful.
Agreed. It's really, really goofy.
We'll have a picture in the show notes for sure. And then, would you import that one, Jeff? You kind of thinking like you might.
Nah, probably not.
And then another one in our list of possibly the worst car names ever is the Renault Logan,
which is actually a Dacia Logan.
Oh, it's a Dacia? Well, then I'm for it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Was it like 6K?
I think it was like 3K.
It was like stupid cheap money.
I think it's power nothing, no power steering, no power windows, no power locks. It's just car.
It's power forearms and calves, Brady.
It's got engine and wheels and something to keep the rain out. It's just car. And I think it was like 3,500 pounds or something.
That's pretty sweet.
So I'm for it. Bad name though.
Yeah.
Renault Logan. This is the Renault Xander.
They had some other ones. So when it came out, it was also called the Nissan Aprio, the Mahindra Verito, the Renault Tondar 90, Nissan NP200, Lada Largus, and the EMC E36.
Largus. What's worse, Lada Largus or Renault Logan?
Renault Logan. Lada Largus just... Well, okay, never mind. I just bought a Lada Largus. What the hell is Largus?
How much of it did you buy?
All
of it. You bought all of it? How many are there?
One.
If it would be Lada Largus is the same if it was Renault Rogan.
But that one sounds more racist.
I was going for Joe Rogan there. Now I feel bad.
Oh no, Renault Rogan. Hey, we're gonna get in trouble here. We should move on to cars and poop.
It's obvious transition. So Jeff, from season 1 Top Gear, can you make a car run on poop?
Yep.
Kinda.
I mean, you can make it run on methane.
So, I have some experience with poop converters.
Because you have children. Jokes.
No, in my line of work, and I work in the energy industry. A couple of the power plants that I deal with are landfill / gigantic cow yard methane converter plants, and they take the methane, which is the major constituent in natural gas, from, we'll call it the exhaust gases of the cow, and turn it into power. And it is about, on average, about 70% as, we'll call it combustible. The BTUs per standard cubic foot are about 70%. And so that's why these cars were slower. So they put the methane from human poop, the methane from cow poop, and then just regular old gasoline. And they drove them in the same car. They did a drag race. And it is just less energy dense. So for the same amount of input into the engine, you get less bang for your buck.
Yep.
It's the same way it is. Also, it's going to mess up their engine real bad.
Oh, yes.
The landfill gas ones, the inside of those engines, like the guys who take those apart literally wear like full body suits, because it's not just methane. The methane's not a problem. It's all of the extra stuff that comes out of that. It's the heavy metals. It's the biohazard crap. They're just like, you know what? We're just going to take these parts apart like with full Tyvek suits on. It's pretty bad stuff. And they're just caked on. It's just like cement on these turbine parts. It's crazy. Ugh. But yeah, it's about 70% as power, which is why the cars are slower. So yes, you can run cars on compressed natural gas.
Not as
and
good.
Yes, compressed natural gas coming from methane deposits or from solid waste deposits are about 70% as combustible.
Any more about poop? You all good?
They cut in a section of the Phantom Menace music when Darth Maul is fighting Obi-Wan Kenobi from the prequel. They did.
All right. I don't know that prequel well enough to know the music.
Get with it, brother.
I know. I'm a sequel guy.
Ha! Gay!
So we actually did have a power lap this time, and an official one.
It actually played in the episode. We should talk about it now. Yes.
Yeah. It's what's the name of the car?
Fuck you. It's the. I don't know, Jeff. I don't know what this car is called. I think I have written down here. This is the Renault Sport Clio 2 RS 182 Cup Packed Sport Clio Cup Renault Sport. I think that's the official name. That's about the official name. It's a Sport Clio, but a special version of it that has some options, but not all of the options.
Yep.
Its cup is mildly packed, not fully packed.
No, it's not a full-on cup or a trophy. No. That's just a big cup. 182 horsepower, as the name would suggest. 2 liters, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, 140 miles an hour, and 14,700 pounds. Same specific horsepower as an Elise, which is a good metric.
Yep. I mean, in general, it kind of sounds like there are quite a few faults with it. 14.7's pretty cheap. You're not going to get a lot more for that much. But they said they skimped on build quality. Things felt chintzy. The interior was cheap plastic as opposed to, I guess, not cheap plastic.
Fancy plastic.
But despite that, Jeremy says it's still lovable. It's a lovable car. It really wants to try for you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It makes up for it.
Motown pop song.
Exactly. Okay, exactly. Those are usually pretty good, though. You know.
I know. Yeah, I didn't quite agree with that reference, but whatever.
Motown pop song. You know, those garbage music from like the Temptations and the Supremes. Yeah. No.
Yeah. It was tripoding quite a bit.
It really liked to kick that wheel up, man. It had I guess this had the 200-pound option Cup Sport package on the suspension. What is it called? Cup pack?
I believe it is the Cup chassis pack, which is a better hub on the
stronger hub.
Yeah. Lowered suspension, stiffer shocks and springs, thicker anti-sway bar, and fancy wheels.
I can definitely see it had a thicker anti-sway bar because thing it just lifted up its leg like a
dog.
Like a dog on a late morning. On any corner, not even like the major ones, not even like just the hammerhead, but like just going through the tires on follow through, just whoop,
like, whoop. Just pull it on
second
up.
Second to last corner. I only need 3 wheels.
Yeah.
Gambon. Might as well.
I was autocrossing today with the local chapter here, and there was a Nissan Sentra SER Spec V that there were a couple corners. It held the wheel up for so long that it stopped rotating. I mean, he came into the corners basically like on the brakes, so that definitely helped slow it down. But it was hilarious seeing this thing come around the corner and basically do
Just
like
no
almost a
spinning.
180. Yeah, the one wheel is just like, look at me, not move.
I'm the opposite of a spinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny to me when cars lift up their wheel like that. I feel like, I mean, just knowing what I know about vehicle dynamics, there's not much grip being given by that wheel.
Mhm.
There's some.
There definitely is some, but
There's
not
some.
much.
And so kicking up off the ground is never, I don't think it's a good thing. I think you're losing grip, but it's probably so small it doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a characteristic of fast front-wheel drive cars, of which I've had a couple, but I've never really raced them. All the stuff that I've raced has always been rear-wheel drive, and those just don't. Sometimes you can lift a front wheel on those. That's always fun, but...
Yeah, I guess it's more important in a rear-wheel drive car to keep the tires on the ground, obviously, for the power being put down. So
But
they make the suspension do that. But on the front-wheel drive cars, they want the front wheels on the ground for both reasons, steering and power. So there's like, yeah, whatever up in the back, whatever.
Yeah, let them do what they feel.
Yeah, do what you feel.
You back tire.
All right, well, this was the power lap, Jeff.
Indeed, it was. Not a bad lap considering what it was, and compared to last week's Phantom power lap.
Yes, so last week was the MG ZT260, did a 133.7. This, and was 33,000 pounds.
This
one did a
price, half the engine.
0.1 second slower, so it did a 133.8. So essentially the same speed for way, 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 way less money. Yeah, just better.
And it doesn't look like a Dodge Stratus.
It doesn't look like a Dodge Stratus. So, Jeff, desirability score for the Sport Clio 2 RS 102 Cup Packed Sport Clio Cup Renault Sport.
I have a weird affinity for these little Clios.
You like the little Renaults?
I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah, you really liked the V6 Clio, didn't you?
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, I think I gave that one a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, I've ridden around a Clio. I think I just wish it was like a Fiesta or something. I never drove it, and it obviously wasn't a packed cup version.
Yeah.
But I don't like it as much. I think I'd rather have other things for maybe a little bit more money is probably worth it for me. So I'm going to go with a 4.
All right. Rounded it out to an even 5.
An even 5. That gives it an Top Gear Rearview power ranking score of 98.5, which is good enough for 36th.
Yeah, very middle of the road.
Right in the middle. That makes it just ahead of the Porsche Boxster S and just behind the Pagani Zonda. Oh, it's fighting above its weight class there.
That it is.
Yeah.
A little bit of a price difference there. You can only buy, about 20 of these for a Zonda?
It's well more than 20. 20 only gets you to 280 pounds. You still have 30. You get 22 of these for a Zonda.
That's like 2 soccer teams plus refs. Or no, I guess it's probably way more than that, actually. I don't know how many people.
There's 11 in soccer. So
it's 2 soccer teams. Bam.
Yeah.
I know sports.
Sports ball. Yes. So, Jeff, that's the end of the episode. Couple of iffy episodes here in the middle of the series.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can gain it back by the end here, but sometimes you just got to review a Cup Renault Sport,
They were definitely better than episode 2. And definitely a lot worse than episode 4.
Yeah. There were some good ones in this series. 1, 3, and 4 were very good. 2, 5, and 6, not as good. They're on the lower end of the totem pole there.
We got some good things in the near term here. We got a Spiker next week, which is a fun one. Ford GT is coming, and then a lot of fun little roadsters and stuff.
A lot of little roadsters.
So many tiny roadsters.
Well, thank you guys for sticking with us for this. We appreciate your listenership. If you enjoy, head on over to iTunes, give us a rating and a review if you so feel. If we've earned it, give us what you feel we've earned. Also, you can check out our videos on YouTube, or our podcast on YouTube in video form. It is another way for you to consume it, if maybe that's better for you for maybe your place of work or however you listen to podcasts. You can just search for us, Top Gear Rearview on YouTube.
We also have a Facebook page that we put up articles, fun car things around the web, sometimes less fun car things like Ford killing off most of their car line, which is crazy, but That's a discussion for a different day. But on the more fun side, we're still looking for what we talked about last week, which is choose yourself 3 sporty coupes or sports cars in the $60,000 range from at least 2 countries and rear-wheel drive, and a weird list of requirements to drive around on a beach. If you got a list, throw it up there.
Exactly.
Crazy requirements galore. So that wraps it up for this week. So on that note, we will see you back here next week for Series 4, Episode 7.